I was a preemie, and when I was a month old, I developed whooping cough. And one day I was quite ill, and my mother called the doctor to come out to the farm to check me out. And so he got in his little horse and buggy and came the 9 miles to the farm. And when he left that day, he said, "Mrs. Sawhill, I don't think we can save her." But the great physician had other plans for me, and he healed me. My name is Mabel Sawhill.
And how old are you?
I am 99 years and 3 days.
How does it feel to be 99 years and 3 days?
The same as it did when I was 80 or 90. Gotta melt the butter and then add the sugar. I've been making sticky buns since 1942. After I retired from the government in '83, when I started, that was when I had this compound fracture and I was in the hospital. And I just said, "God, I've finished working. What do you want me to do?" And he said, "Educate those children," which were Doreen's 2 girls. Her boy is deaf. And of course, she and her husband are deaf. So I called up the school. I got them in. One was 4 and the other one was 5. One went to pre-kindergarten, the other went to kindergarten. At 99, I really don't think that I've slowed down that much. I can do about as much as I've always done. I sometimes amaze myself at how much I get done, but then I really think for my age and for the gifts that God has so graciously given me, I really can do a lot of things.
This is a great spread.
Thank you. Well, I hope so. I really am amazed at the energy God gives me. Just like the other night when I had to do that food, I started at 12 o'clock and worked until 4 in the morning. And I said, "God, I'll have to sleep fast." I come from a family that loved God and wanted to serve Him, and we knew that God was the center of our lives. He was the one that made us tick. We are going to Costco to purchase food. We'll lock the little chateau up. Okay, we're off.
How many people are we buying for?
Well, if we buy any of the things for Thursday, we would be buying for about 100 people. No, I have never been married. I guess I never got married because I idolized my father so, because I thought he was such a wonderful man, and I couldn't find anybody that I thought equaled him. I don't fear that I will lose my independence, because I just have faith that God's going to see me through until he takes me home. I live alone, and I'm very happy being alone, because I can do what I want to when I want to, and when I come in and lock that door at night, nobody's going to bother me. I can do whatever I want to. I have never realized I'm old, mainly because I have a mixture of friends in my life, both young and old, and they're wonderful friends, and they're part of my life, and I just feel like I'll never be old. I may look old, but I don't feel old. 9/11, I was doing a luncheon for the Bethesda Women's Club, and while I was there, the announcements came over TV that the planes that hit in New York, and one had hit in Washington, and one had gone into Pennsylvania. And that night, I was supposed to do a dinner at the yacht club downtown in Washington. But they said no one is to come into the district. I had all the food ready, so I put it in my car and started for D.C. Came around until I got to the yacht club, and the Commodore was here and some other people, and he said, I knew you would come. And he said, Mabel, do you think you could have dinner ready in 30 minutes? We're going to feed the firemen and the policemen who are working over at the Pentagon where the plane hit. And I said, we'll have it ready. And so in 30 minutes, 25 police and firemen came over. We fed them dinner. They went back, and then 25 more came over, and we fed them, and they went back. I'm always amazed at people and what they say to me. Mabel, you don't realize how important you are in my life. And I say, how can I be important in your life? Well, when I get tired, I think of you at 98 running around, and here I'm ready to sit down and rest, and I get up and move on. These people in nursing homes have to be very creative. They have to try to find things that will interest these people or that they can do. You know, when I go to see my sister, that, if anything depressed me, it was that. But sometimes when I go, especially if I'm a little tired or weary, you know, I think, oh dear, Will I be like this someday?
Someday you're
There's nobody to come to see me because everybody's dead. I'm not pessimistic at all. I can't stand pessimistic people, always worried. I don't want that. Create a good attitude in your mind. Everybody thought when I reached the age of 70 that I should stop. But I've gone on for 30 more years, 29 really. I love to do things for other people because to me that brings great happiness and joy.
Why are you not afraid of dying?
Because I know exactly where I'm going. Because God said, you know, I became a believer when I was young and I took Christ as my Savior. And, you know, He has my place all prepared for me in heaven.
How will life be different when you're 100?
It probably won't be any different. I'll just go ahead and work.